Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
No, me
Oh,
either.
happy birthday, America! 600 years of freedom and fast food and unbalanced trade. Does everybody have their pinata ready?
I do.
Really?
Yeah.
What is your pinata this year?
What is it?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I want one filled with pastrami.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
Pastrami would be good.
Yeah, I want it to be like a donkey, and it's going to be filled with pastrami.
And Italian bread.
Yes, and you need Italian bread.
What's up, Abel D?
Abel D, what's happening?
Mitten Made Muscle, Vintage Engine Repairs,
How
Uncle
is
Squirrel.
everybody this evening?
Chipping Glass, James Fife, Vincent Caruso, Ford LTD 1976. He says, greetings from Texas.
Greetings.
Does nothing special. Bobby Z, 1964, says hi.
What's happening, Bobby Z?
Jerry Franks, Bill McKiska, Mike N.
All the
Steve
regulars
Roma,
rolling in.
Fubar, Colton, Caleb.
Fubar!
Crawford. Yeah, Franco.
Franco, what's happening, man?
The Formula and Need Metal. What's up, everybody?
Franco, I saw something this week, and it made me think of you, but I don't remember what it was now. I don't know what it was. It'll come to me.
Punk Bomb 1 says, hello, Uncle Tony and Uncle Kathy. First time live viewer. Dan
welcome.
and Danny sent me.
Welcome to the asylum.
Are we calmer than they are, or are we worse than they are?
They're pretty low key.
They're low key?
They're pretty, well.
So we're worse.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
We're far less professional, actually.
Oh. Do you want
They're good. They're good at what they do.
Do you want to be professional? We can if you want to.
But you know what? We don't have to be that professional. They're you know what happened after we nuked Canada during the Korean War? It changed their culture and it made them more disciplined. You know what I mean? And that's why they all do what they do.
Zip Ties is more disciplined?
Yes. Yes. Than his southern neighbor would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tony, was it Dragster Insider? Franco says.
Dragster Insider. No, I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what that is?
Oh, the Insider column in National Dragster.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't seen National Dragster since like 1988, maybe 1989.
David Smith says he needs more engine rebuild soon.
Yeah, we're doing plenty of them. Tomorrow we're going to pull the crank out of the 4.0, and I did build another engine over the weekend. It's all together now, but it's all stuff that I've done countless times before, so I didn't think it would make for content. So that's done. But I hustled it together because I have a very interesting one. I know a lot of you guys are going to find this very interesting. I have a very interesting one coming in this coming week. At some point this week.
AKA Jackie says, hello, Tony. My son watched every day before he passed away. He was 17 years old. We've been in the muscle cars for our whole life.
Oh, jeez, I'm so sorry about that.
We're sorry, Jackie.
Jack, what did he, we're sorry.
Yeah, it's terrible. We're so sorry. Just thanks. Let's see. Just Moper Joe says, J Rush should be announcing a giveaway this week on my 400 dyno deal.
Okay, say that again, Joe.
J Rush should be announcing a giveaway this week on my 400 dyno deal.
Okay. I'm not aware of what any of that is. I'm not paying attention to it, really.
Zero is here. He says, well, okay, so Jackie says passed away from COVID. His son passed away from COVID. So sorry. Zero says, boss lady, sorry I missed last week. My dad passed away on the 11th.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry, Zero.
Sorry, Zero. Condolences to you and your family.
Oh, this weekend, this Sunday's getting off to a pretty rough start.
Well, we're sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Let's see. Abel Z saying sorry to hear Zero. Aaron Erickson. Zero says no worries, you guys are awesome.
No, I'll throw it to with you, bro.
Just more board Joe says, Tony, we talked about it a while back. I built a 400 to swap into my 68 Barracuda.
Right, I know that.
Placed my 408 stroker.
Right, but what's the giveaway? I don't know anything about the giveaway part of it.
Let's see.
I
James,
saw the 400 you built. It looks like a nice motor.
James Vandergrift says, love everything you do to keep your head up.
Thank you, brother.
What's up, Mexican Spec? Let's see, Mike N. You guys are killing me with bad vibes. Makes me want to open up a vein and go back to heroin. That's not funny, Mike N. That would be a stupid thing to do.
It's a weird night.
Yeah.
You know.
Caleb Parker, Tony, what was that metal piece going across the lower main bearing caps on the bottom of that 4.0?
It looked to me like a girdle, but evidently, it was part of an NVH addition to those motors. NVH is noise, vibration, harshness. And it's one of those things that engineers that get paid too much money to do nonsensical things work on, and it's just a quiet. Anything that the machine makes is to deaden the life of the machine. That's really what it comes down to. So anything that's noise related, vibration related, harshness related, and evidently by tying those main caps together with that steel plate, which in my mind is a girdle, but it's not a girdle. It's a way to, I guess there's a harmonic from the crankshaft on those engines that adds to the vibration of its running, so they added that piece. That's the best of my understanding on it. I really don't know why they would put a girdle. Yeah, that was the other thing. As I'm taking it apart, I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. It's a girdle. Well, why would you put a girdle on a 190 horsepower inline six-cylinder engine, especially one with 7 main bearings? You know, it doesn't really seem to warrant it, but evidently that's what it's for.
Sorry, I'm Canadian, says UT. I'm surprised that engine you were building wasn't damaged more.
Well, if you think about it, it's just the aluminum part that's missing. You know, it's not like the rings were dragging and gouging into the cylinder walls. It's just the aluminum, and I mean, you can tap aluminum on cast iron, you know, like from now until doomsday, and it's really not going to do much damage. What happened?
I can't take my jacket off.
You get hot? Want me to open the window?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm way behind. T. Harrison says, hi, Tony. I have a TH400 with an 8-inch straight crack in the bell housing.
Okay.
2 o'clock position from when I wrestled it out of the junkyard. Have you ever welded a similar crack?
Yeah.
Or is it likely junk?
You won't have any problem with that. You won't have any problem.
Okay.
Weld it up. As long as the crack doesn't extend into, let's say, where the seal is, it goes around the front pump. As long as the crack doesn't go that far, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Just weld it up, or have somebody weld it up, and call it a day.
Need Milk sent you $5.
Thank you.
Dent repair vid was awesome. I've become addicted to detail and cosmetic vids.
Well, I'll tell you what. I've talked to Ron. I want to do a series of videos, but I won't talk about that right now. I did talk to Ron about doing that, so we may be doing some more work, more videos along those lines.
And we're gonna paint the red Jeep, right?
We are going to paint the red Jeep.
Yeah.
We're going to do the motor swap first, then paint it.
You okay?
Yeah. Oh, and there was confusion. The motor that we're building right now is for the red Jeep, the one that I drive every day.
Yeah, somebody got mad at you.
Yeah.
And told you to go work at Burger King.
Yeah. Thought it was a flex plate hot shot. Idiots.
Well, he misunderstood. And he just came down on you.
Well, the black Jeep is home. We call it Schwarzi.
Okay.
It's a German for black. And Schwarzi is here in the driveway. It's used as a backup vehicle right now. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Because we sent it out to get fixed. They fixed the flex plate.
Yes, I bought a flex plate, and I had a friend of mine do it because it was a waste of time for me because I can't make content out of that. We don't do that kind of material. So I was like, here, knock it out.
We didn't show it.
Right.
Yeah.
So that truck is fine, intact, and running. My red Jeep, the one with the knock, is also fine, intact, and running, and I use it every single day.
Every day.
Right. The engine that we're building right now is one that I bought off of Facebook Marketplace as a core.
Yes.
Right. It was a bad motor. I didn't know what was wrong with it. It was just a bad motor. So I gave him like $200 for this thing, which was more than I should have.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, it's everything we need right here. So for expediency's sake, I grabbed it, and that's the one that we're doing. When that one's finished, that gets swapped into my red Jeep.
Yeah, we have to not confuse the viewers. You know,
Yeah, it is a little
because
confusing.
They
I can
don't watch
understand
every
when
video.
right. I can understand when
So-
they get confused.
That's why they're telling you go work at Burger King. Dalton Peterson sent you $5.
Thank you.
Okay, he says, hey, what would scream like a gear drive on an engine first startup?
What would scream like
A
a
gear
gear
drive.
drive on the first startup?
Yeah.
Ooh. What kind of engine is it? I don't know.
I don't know.
If it's a GM car, GM combination, it could be the starter shimmed too tightly, or not shimmed enough. That'll give you like a wee when you crank it over, but it goes away as soon as the engine starts, and the Bendix retracts.
Joe K says, is the red Jeep motor going to be a performance build?
Yes. So that's what we're doing. The one that we're doing right now, straight, no modification, no nothing. Just a straight rebuild.
But wait, I have a question. I'm raising my hand.
Yes. A question.
It gets really good gas mileage. We're not going to change that, right?
No, we're not going to change that. It gets epic gas mileage.
Right. It's the only thing we own that gets really good gas
It gets
mileage. So
epic
it's like
gas
interrupting him.
Yeah. Sometimes, like as I'm driving it, I'm like, I'm watching the gas gauge move, damn it, and it doesn't. It gets really, really good gas mileage. Averages around town mixed use almost 20 miles to the gallon. So with the black Jeep, I'm not, we're going to do a video on back-to-back comparison between the two-wheel drive and the four-wheel drive of identical Jeeps. But the four-wheel drive is definitely nowhere near as friendly, nimble, or economical as the two-wheel drive.
Danny California says, could you better explain the process of properly filling in combustion chambers with wire?
He's talking about welding. Bro, as far as I know, there is no procedure for that. I'm going to wing it. And see what happens.
Let's see. David Smith says, can you put Healy coils in cast iron?
Sure, of course.
Danny Boy wants to know, what's that yellow engine in the shop?
That's the 361. I just finished putting that together. I didn't finish putting it together. So I got to put the rocker shafts and the rocker arms and all that. I just got to clean that stuff and get that out of the way. That's the mule engine. That's the one that's going to go. That's the first of the mule engines, and that's the one that's going to go into the Belvedere. Which is going to be one more little aspect to that Belvedere, and I've been inspired by two things. I was inspired by that Pinto that we shot the video on, and then when we visited the Body and Soul shop, obviously the bubble top, right? It's like,
You're putting a bubble top on that.
I'm not putting a bubble top on it. No. But I've been inspired like to do something fun. Okay, something that's just visually fun.
But I thought it was just a mule. I
It
thought we were
is.
just going to paint Mule 01 on the side
Originally, yeah.
with like a big paintbrush.
Originally, yes, that was the plan. But I've been inspired by the custom thing, and I want to do something that's visually fun.
On the mule?
On the mule. Yes.
That's not the car to do it to, I don't think, eh?
Trust me.
All right.
Trust me. So anyway, we're going to do something with that. I don't want to talk about it yet.
Dalton Peterson sent you another $5.
Thank you, Dalton.
He said it's a 357 Chevy, not the starter.
357 Chevy, not the starter. And it makes it sound like a gear drive. No, I know what's wrong with it. Bro. I know what you did. Or maybe not you. It might have been packaged wrong. There's a mix match in the gears for the timing chain. Different pitch on the teeth. I'll almost guarantee it because I had that. I had that happen. Give me a second. I don't remember which engine this was. Because this is going way back. This is going back to like the 90s, like when I was still in New York. And I built an engine. Not built, rebuilt. Assembled an engine. And it made a crazy noise. When it kind of almost like a gear drive. And it started to diminish a little bit. As the engine was running, it started to diminish. And they gave, it was also, it was like a 307 Olds? Whatever the popular Oldsmobile motor was, it was in the Cutlasses and all. And it started up, it made like a gear drive type of noise. Wee, right? Gave it back to the customer after the noise went away, and I couldn't determine what it was. I got it back, it came back on a hook. A short time later, maybe a few days, maybe a week later. So what it turned out was, there was a mix match in the pitch of the teeth that they sent on the timing set. It was like a Cloy's or whatever it was, timing set, just from a regular auto parts store. And when I put it on, it was tight, but not enough to really think about. So anyway, make a long story short, the noise went away while the engine was during its initial break-in, but it had stretched the length because the pitch wasn't the same. The chain, the teeth of the chain didn't match the pitch of one of the two gears. I don't remember which one it was, and it ended up snapping that chain. But that happened to me, and that was a noise very similar to a gear drive. I hope that does something for you. I don't know, but I'm remembering this now. I remember it was like 25 years ago.
Stuntman 727 wants to know, where can one find a Dell's Cadillac shirt like you're wearing?
This is one of my favorite shirts. It just fits so perfect. The material is perfect. I think I sent me a couple of these. I've had these shirts since
we started the
we
channel.
first started this channel.
Yeah, he sent you 2 of them.
Yeah. Oh, and I killed my boots.
What?
My boots.
What about them?
I killed my boots.
Do you want to talk about your boots?
I want to talk about my boots.
All right, hang on. Just Mopar Joe sent you $1.99.
Oh, thank you, Joe.
Excuse me. He says, giveaway for guessing the 400 dyno numbers. What say you?
Oh, okay. What are you giving away, Joe? You know what? Oh God, I can't even make a guess. I'll tell you what, Joe. Let me watch your last installment and get back up to speed on the specs of that engine, and I'll make a guess. I'll participate in this for sure.
Okay, Dragonfly Ryan sent you $5.
Thank you, Dragonfly Ryan.
UT, I just got done rebuilding my daughter's 5.9 Durango. Watched a lot of your Mopar 360 videos. They were invaluable. First time rebuilding. Success.
Thank you.
That's
That's awesome. Congratulations. It feels good to turn the key and the thing lights right off, right? Honestly, guys, sometimes I really feel that we do too much emphasis on the hot rod stuff, because just what he just did, that's such a big part of being a mechanic of this whole world and everything, where it's like, it doesn't have to be a hot rod. It just
you rolling a cigarette?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna move away.
Yeah.
Done?
Yeah.
Okay. YouTube doesn't like it when somebody rolls cigarettes on the camera.
No, sometimes I feel that we put too much emphasis on the hot rod stuff and not enough emphasis on just doing stuff at home, just putting engines together.
Sam says, what is the hardest thing you fixed in 2022?
The hardest thing I fixed in 2022?
Last year.
I didn't really have anything hard last year. Everything was kind of...
Bottle rocket? Did you have to do anything to bottle rocket?
No.
No?
No.
Didn't give you any problems?
No. So the 4-speed Chris.com. No, since we swapped it to automatic, It's been to the track, no problems there. It's done numerous test hits and launches out by the shop, and not a single problem. So no. What was the toughest thing I fixed in 2022?
You struggled with something, didn't you? Wasn't
Um,
there a converter issue that was a little bit a pain in the butt?
yeah, but it wasn't that painful. So it just kind of like. I haven't had anything difficult this year. Everything went pretty smooth this year.
You have to take apart the A3 again.
I
That
had
wasn't
I,
difficult though.
no, that was 2 hours.
Yeah.
That car is so easy to work on.
Yeah.
'Cause I had to change the rings on cylinders 6 and 8 on Slaghammer, and the way that thing is configured, like there's nothing underneath. The pan just poof falls off. There's nothing, and with the tilt nose, it's like literally start to finish, changing the rings on those 2 cylinders and giving each one a quick hone. Total working time was like maybe 2 hours.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Potato Tomato Boy has good news.
Excellent. We need some good news.
Yeah, he says, for some better news, my mom came home from the hospital today. She just got diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer. The surgery was successful, but she'll probably have to do chemotherapy.
Well, it's okay. She's
Well,
alive
that's
to do the chemotherapy.
That's awesome. That is good news.
Yep.
Hope your mom gets well soon.
She will.
Let's see.
Positive thoughts for everything. Just positive thoughts.
Just be you, Tony. Just be you. Let's see. Slaghammer? Yeah, you just talked about Slaghammer.
Yeah.
Kathy, I think the answer for Tony would be relationships. The hardest thing you had to work on. Tony doesn't work on those.
I don't work on them. They just happen to me.
They just happen.
They just happen.
Oh. Let's see. Uncle Tony, what happened to the Miata? 40 Mamba wants to know.
I parted it out.
Yeah.
I built it.
And then he didn't like it.
I was all about this thing, right? I built it. I put it together. We ran it around the parking lot a few times, and I was like, I'm just not into the handling thing. I just, it's cool for a minute, but if I cared about handling, I'd be on a motorcycle, because that's what motorcycles are for. Leaning into the turn and all that stuff. And it just doesn't make sense to me to try to do it in a car. I don't know. I can't really explain it to you. So I wanted the car to go off an autocross. So I wanted somebody to take the car and take it and go autocrossing. And I had three people. Yeah, I'll do that. That's great. And nobody shows up. Nobody. So I'm like, you know what? Now I got this thing. It's sitting in the shop. I have absolutely no use for it whatsoever. It's got a 170 in it that I really want to use for a different project. And that's it. I'm parting this thing out. So that's it. I parted it out.
Joe Brennan wants to know, is Tony feeling better this week?
I was feeling bad last week?
Yeah, you had a cold.
Oh, yeah.
And you
much
crashed your
better.
motorcycle.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you want to talk about your boots?
Oh, yeah. My poor boots. So I'm a wardrobe minimalist, okay? Like, seriously. I have all my clothes are just black. I have a couple of random shirts that are black, right? But I'm a wardrobe minimalist. Like, I don't like it to make any changes. It's just simple. I have to think about it. So since I started doing this channel, I've had 2 pairs of boots. And the first pair of boots took us through the first 400 videos, 500 videos, right? About the halfway point.
Yeah.
Yeah, Timberlands.
Yeah.
Right? And what happened to those? Did I just flat wear those out?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I just flat wore them out, right? And then I cracked open another pair. So we keep them in stock.
Yeah, we keep them in stock.
Right. I have brand new pairs in the boxes, and they're so ready to go. So today, I've been wearing these other boots. So this is 7 days a week for 2 years. right? I've worn these other boots, and they would just get to the point where they wore out, like the top of the.
You were nursing them.
I was nursing them along.
You're being cheap.
No, it's not being cheap. It's not being. I have brand new pairs.
Right. You wanted the last bit of them.
But because you know what, they become like a comfortable old friend.
Yeah.
Even when they're not comfortable anymore, they're still like, oh, those are my boots. This is right. Okay. So today, and like I said, the leather on the top of the left boot is worn through from the shifters on the motorcycles. And I was like, these things are just about toast, but I'm gonna milk them to the end. And even just like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, Kat, they was like, "You ready for a new pair of boots?" I'm like, "No, we're gonna push these things. They're gonna go just right." And so this morning, right, that 361, I did the short block. I don't know, like 3 or 4 days ago, right? And I painted it yellow because I want a yellow engine because it's like I'm trying to brighten up the shop a little bit. I want some pretty colors. So I painted the bottom end yellow, and then I did the heads. I went through the heads and put them all back together again, and I stuck them on a block, and I wanted to paint them. So this is on the stand, right? I'll just paint them. So I had this can of yellow Rust-Oleum in my hand, and I'm standing there, and I go to dip the brush in, and the can just slipped out of my hand, and it fell on the floor, and it right on my left boot. So the boot. Yellow, my pants leg, yellow oil paint. I'm like, son of a bitch, right? So I hobbled into the washroom, and I somehow or another swung my whole leg up over the sink and started running water on it to try to cut it, but that doesn't work with
oil paint.
Yeah, I found that out.
Yeah.
So all I did was just make this disgusting yellow slime mess all the way across.
Great. Oh, no. Did you clean it up or
I
is it still there?
I cleaned some of it.
Are you kidding me? How are we supposed to get that up?
No. You'll see. It's not that bad.
Oh, my goodness.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. But yeah, that was it. Last drawing boots. So she yells at me this afternoon. She's like, well, I'm hungry. Let's go eat. I was all right, let's go eat. So I go to put those boots back on. And she's like, you can't go out like that. I said, nobody will notice.
You're so lazy. You're like, my sock is wet. Yeah, let's go out like that.
We went to
Yellow boot.
We went to this upscale Indian place.
No, you didn't go. You changed.
I changed. Yes, I changed.
For me. I didn't really yell at you. I just was like, you're not going like that.
I heard it as yelling.
Of course you did.
I heard it as yelling.
All men do. Let's see. Jay Ski says, is it time to take down the Christmas lights or
No.
can I leave them up another week?
Do we have Christmas lights up?
No, they're down.
Oh,
James Vandergrift sent you $2.
thank you.
He says 355, 510 lift, roller rockers cam, how much horsepower?
175.
No, really.
A range between 175 and 550. I
No,
mean, there's
come
no
on.
way to know. There's no way to
There's
know.
no way to know.
No, there's so much more to that equation. I mean, I don't know.
What else would you have to know to figure that out?
I mean, compression ratio, valve size, valve or cylinder head type. Is it ported or not ported? What kind of intake you got on it? What kind of carburetor you got on it? There's so many different elements to that. And the key thing is that to determining horsepower, you say, well, how much horsepower is this going to make, or how much horsepower is that going to make? Well, the key determining factor isn't even the parts that you stacked on there. It's how well those parts work together. So you can have something that on paper makes 500 horsepower, but because the jetting is off, or because the timing is off, or even the cam timing is off, it only makes 300 horsepower. And you're like, well, why? And it only takes just that much to unleash all of its full potential. So there's just no way to look at a part or a combination of parts and have an accurate representation of what the thing is actually going to make as opposed to what it's going to make on paper.
Let's see. J. Russell Finch wants to know any lingering effects from your trip over the handlebars? You're better now?
I am better.
Okay, good.
I am better. It wasn't completely over here. It was over the left handlebar.
Okay.
I didn't do Superman. You know what I mean? It wasn't like one of them Grand Prix road racers. This wasn't an Isle of Man, crash.
Nope.
No, no. But the bike, I tried to dirt bike. I tried to dirt bike. But once I realized how crossed up it was, I throttled it, hoping that the gyroscopic effect of the wheel would kind of like help straighten me up. But all it did was turn the bike to the curb and hook the curb, turn the handlebars this way, and I went this way over.
Does that have to do with the fact that the bike is so heavy?
It's not a heavy bike.
No?
No. It was my Suzuki, my GS 550, which is all fine except for it crunched the left front turn signal, which was cracked anyway, so I'm not really all freaked out about that. And it left a scuff mark on the side of the headlight bucket. And actually all the controls got kind of tweaked, but everything went right back to the way it was supposed to be.
Peter Kovac says, nobody cares. You see what people wear at Walmart? Yeah, we're not going out like that. Just because people at Walmart
This was obnoxious, okay? This was obnoxious. I had a yellow foot.
And yellow paint on your pants.
And yellow pants.
And you're wearing a wet sock.
Yeah. So, and we went to a very nice, upscale
Well,
Indian
it wasn't
place.
fancy. It was just.
No, it's not
a
a place, kind of place you wear a suit, but it's a kind of place with like nice cloth table, like napkins.
Yeah, right. You don't want to go in there with paint all over your boot. Scott Kuhn sent you $2.
Thank you, Scott.
What's the chances for a 4.0 in a classic Mopar?
Very difficult unless you do a front steer conversion. You'd have to put a rack or something in the car because the oil pan, the 4.0 has a rear sump oil pan, and I mean I guess you could fabricate a mid sump oil pan to kind of fit, but I mean that's a lot of work, and it's taking steps backwards. If you were to do a front steer rack and pinion conversion on a Mopar, it would go right in. There wouldn't be any problem at all. And it is something I've thought about. We're going to do a hot 4-liter Jeep motor because it's a beautiful engine, but just not yet. Just not yet.
Andy from Unity Motorsports Garage is here.
Andy, I'm sorry I didn't call you yesterday, bro. My head's in 1,000 places. I've got a million things on.
Okay, let's see. Connor Rickley wants to know any experience with a feather duster or a dart light.
Mm-hmm. I had a feather duster. So this was in 1982. 1982. Maybe it was 83. I don't know, something like that. 1982, 1983. I was a mechanic, obviously, and I did a lot of work for this guy Patty Denuzzo on Castleton Avenue, on Staten Island. And I would go to the auction with him and inspect cars. So that was one of the things I did like every week, every Wednesday at the Bordentown auction. And I had a bunch of different car dealers that would pay me to go with them and look at cars before they bid on them. So I taught Patty, it was a green feather duster, actually he bought 2 Mopars that day. One was a blue segment, and this was definitely didn't fit the profile of Bordentown. He bought a blue B5 outside, white gut, 66 Charger, 383 2-barrel. He bought that, and he bought this feather duster. So the feather duster was like a low mileage car. It was like 20,000 miles, whatever it happened to be. It was pristine. It was like brand new. And I drove that car. So it was a normal thing since you're working with dealers. You're like, okay, well, take that thing and fix that, whatever it happens to be. So it's a normal thing when you're working for dealers to take a car and have it for a few days. So I did that with this duster. And I ended up adopting the car. And I drove it for like months. And he's like, Patty, you done with the duster yet? I'm no, Patty, it's still making some weird sounds every once in a while. It makes some weird sounds.
That was right before you met me.
Right before I met you.
Yeah, it's 1982.
Right. So I had that car for like a couple of months. And after a while he caught on. It's like, well, he's just using my car. But it was okay because we had that kind of relationship. So I drove that car for 2 or 3 months. And it got really good mileage. It didn't get anywhere near, like the advertisement for those cars was, I think it was like 38 miles to the gallon they advertised, which is just out of limits. But it did get like in the mid to high 20s. And it was such a fun car to drive. It was just a regular slate six, one barrel. You know, people talk about them being jetted too lean and stuff like that. And it wasn't. It felt perfect. And it had the 833 overdrive transmission, and it had like a 270 something gear set. And it was just a pleasure to drive. It was just a tight, happy, nice little car that would just hum down the road, you know, like you would want a slate six Duster to do. So yeah, I had that car for a while. I adopted that.
Okay, I'm gonna mangle this last name. Dakota Bergener or Bergener? I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Dakota.
Smith.
Okay. He says, I started watching your videos a year ago. Now I have 4 project cars. Thanks for giving me this sickness.
You're welcome.
Very cool.
You're welcome.
Jeff Mello sent you $5.
Thanks, Jeff.
Really interested in your no BS opinion on the 427 Ford.
I am doing okay. This week I'm doing an engine for another channel, for another shop. And it's going to be an FE motor. So I'm going to save that for when, because I'll be able to do a direct side-by-side, so it's something I've never seen, okay? I'll be able to do a direct side-by-side comparison between a big block Chrysler and an FE motor. And we'll be able to look at every single aspect of those two engines. And that will give you my opinion of what but because it won't be my opinion, I'll show you actual fact of what it is between these two engines.
Do you have a Vizard update?
I do not, but I was supposed to call in. It is my fault. Andy and David have powwowed. They're working. They've got it worked out of some sort. And I slacked off by not calling Andy. I was supposed to call Andy and stay on top of this, and I didn't. And I apologize to Andy and anybody else who's following this. But I will get on that this week, and we will see what's what.
Zugi
22
says, hey Uncle Tony, if I advance the cam timing on the engine with a performance cam, would it bring the manifold vacuum up?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Let's see. Tony.
Yes.
This is from Otto. Drum brakes. Is there a method to drilling the drum around the hub for extra cooling or weight loss, similar to how disc brakes are drilled?
Okay, yes, the answer to that is yes and no. Vented backing plates are a common accepted practice, but in drag racing, they will fail you. The tech inspection will fail you for drilled backing plates, for vented backing plates. Well, not for vented backing plates, but for drilled backing plates. So if you can figure out some way to vent them without drilling them, then yes. But that will fail a tech inspection, a visual tech inspection. Otherwise, every single one of my cars would have Swiss cheese backing plates.
Jason Fitch says Tony assigns Ellis Island surnames when you can't pronounce them. Yes.
Yeah, well, I have no idea what my Italian last name was. That's lost to the.
No, that's it. They have it in Italy. There's DeFeo's.
Are you sure about that?
Absolutely. I'm absolutely sure about it.
Okay, I never really
I've
looked
looked
into
it
it.
up. Yeah. Yeah, there are. Let's see. Okay, digital sharecropper. Tony, would you take a newer car shell, like say a Challenger, and strip the technology out of it, a backwards swap it, like a 318, 904, etc., and make it so the car lasts 35 years?
I am telling you right now, point blank, that is going to be a big trend in the not too distant future.
You think they're going to let people do that?
It's not a matter of them letting people do it. People are just going to do it, and then they'll figure out a way around it.
That would be like Mad Max, though, because it wouldn't pass inspection.
Well, take Tennessee, for example.
Well, we don't have it.
We don't have an inspection.
Yeah, right.
And a lot of states are giving up on it because the whole inspection thing was a scam. The people don't want it. The states, it started out as a way for the states to make money, but it ends up costing them too much money to keep it going. So states I've been dropping the whole inspection thing. Going forward, as parts for newer cars become obsoleted, and that's going to happen more and more. So, for instance, the older cars had many fewer parts, so it was easy for a parts manufacturer to keep up with the demand for these things. Like if you go back to the 1970s, if you were an auto parts store and you did ignition stuff, right? You had one shelf with ignition parts, and those ignition parts covered every single thing you would find on the road. Now you would need a whole store, a whole warehouse just to cover the ignition parts for all of the different makes and models and variations and years and so on and so forth. So now, instead of parts just staying online, staying in production, they become obsoleted. And as we go forward, you're going to find that cars, 2015 cars, 2018 cars, it needs a transmission control module, or it needs a whatever control feature it is. They're going to start becoming obsolete. And you see stuff like this, and cars that are irreparable because they have some bizarre CAN bus issue. And like, for instance, you'll get a car that's been on a minor fender bender, but now everything is just wacky on it because that minor fender bender pinched the CAN bus harness, and because it works on microvolts, it broke one strand inside the wire, and it changes the entire complexion of the operating system of this car. And this is how you get these pristine cars that end up in the boneyards. So going forward, I honestly believe that transplanting analog drivetrains into the newer bodies is going to become the thing. It's going to be the exact opposite of what we've become accustomed to, where people take the older bodies and they put the newer drivetrains in it. It's going to go the other way. Absolutely going to go the other way.
Kiwi Classics and Customs.
Oh my God, it's Kiwi!
He says Kia Aura, guys.
Whatever foreign commie thing that means. Thank you, my brother.
Funny. You can put a slant 6 in a Miata. Wait, already been done.
Been there, done it, got the t-shirt, and it fits so good. It fit really good.
Let's see.
There's the thing I see in the sky. Every time I go to pull apart, Jeep Commanders. For some reason, there's Jeep Commanders in there, and they all look perfect. Perfect body, perfect interior, perfect paint, right? Soup to nuts. But they're in there dead as a doornail. And I'm thinking the Jeep Commander might be a good starting point to find one of those that's on its way to the scrapyard, buy it for $300, and then swap in like a 318 or something like that. Just proof of concept.
So James DeFeo is asking,
my brother, normal James.
Tony, is there anything other than duct tape that I can use to hold a bumper on a 71 Plymouth Duster? Did you get a Duster, James? I don't think you did.
I gave him a gray 71 Duster, 318, 3-speed on the floor when he was like 15 or 16.
And what did he do with it?
I don't know.
What did you do with that, James?
I remember seeing it sitting in front of the house.
Yeah?
And then he bought a Newport. He bought a Chrysler Newport. It was a white 383 2-barrel, 4-door, blue interior Newport. So I remember my brother's cars better than I remember my own.
I don't remember your brother having Mopars.
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember what he used to drive.
Yeah, he had the Duster, and I don't remember what happened with the Duster, but the Newport I know he drove for a while. And then he had a T-Bird. He bought a T-Bird.
What year?
This was in like 1985.
But what year T-Bird?
86. Must have been like a later 70s, like a 76, 77. And that thing, the transmission was toast on it. And I had the transmission. It was a whatever they were using. It wasn't a C4. It was whatever transmission they had in those cars. Mm-hmm. And I had that running first on motor oil, and he was running down the road with motor oil, and then that started to slip, and I filled it with gear lube. He had his Ford transmission running on gear lube.
Why would you do that to your brother?
And then he bought a powder blue. James, am I remembering all of these? Then he bought a powder blue 1979 Monte Carlo. 305. That was actually a nice car. It had those puffy Sultan seats in it, blue velour, and you had that one for a while.
He's not answering.
And then I lost track of his cars.
He stopped watching.
He gave up. He's done. I'm disgusted. This is my brother. I'm disgusted.
Let's see. James left the building. Let's see. Would you be willing to do the 318 reverse piston challenge? I think a lot of us anticipating the results minus the response. Laugh out loud. Judson Engine says.
Well, one of the things that's going to on the Mission Impossible 318 is absolutely going to be the backwards pistons. I issued that challenge to those asshats in California, and I never got a response from them. There were a couple of smaller channels that wanted to do it, but that was specifically targeted at the California guys.
Your brother's here.
Oh.
James DeFeo says, the brakes failed on Tyson's lane and I left it on someone's front lawn. I took the plates off and ran.
Which one was that?
I guess the blue one? The powder blue one? Is that
No,
the one
I ended up with the powder blue one.
You did?
Yeah, and then I sold it.
James, what car are you talking about?
I got the powder blue one back from him needing an engine. The engine was bad. It was a 305, and I rebuilt the engine, and then I sold it.
Hugh says, why would they respond? Oh, because they started it.
They started it.
Yeah, they started it. But yeah, they probably wouldn't respond because why would they? Right. Let's see. Yeah, Tony, time for an e-body build. Do you want to do an e-body build?
Not likely. Not likely.
No? Okay.
There's nothing we do on the cars that we have now that you couldn't do on an e-body.
Let's see. My great-grandfather had a 1940 Plymouth business coupe that my uncle currently has. He said he would pass it down to me, so that is exciting. I really like cars from the 30s and 40s. They have class.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very cool car.
You were just looking at one. What were you looking at?
That was later. That was a 55 Coronet.
No, that's not what you were looking at.
The one on Marketplace was a 55 Coronet.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was earlier than that.
No.
Let's see. Didn't they technically respond and say they didn't have time for that? Laugh out loud. New Guys Garage says.
They might have.
Yeah, kind of. I think they did. Yeah.
Did they?
They don't have time for that. Okay, did you see my video? Remember you're supposed to look at that video and the mentions?
Okay, so what did I say immediately before we get
Yeah,
there?
you were like, where do I see that video? And I said, go on my computer. Did you go on?
No, because he says we got to go on now.
Right, sorry. Okay, why don't you watch it now? You can watch it now.
Put it on.
All right, hang on. All right, don't look at my desk. It's a mess. Okay. It's a mess. All right, let's see. Hang on. What's going to come up here? I don't even know. Let's see. Oh, yeah, okay. That probably should not have been on there.
On where?
It's okay. Hang on. I got to go to comments.
Mentions.
Right, mentions. New video. Okay.
Let's all watch this together.
Some of you might call me crazy, but I have to get this out to the public.
Can you hear it?
Some bias flies came to the U.S. not that long ago. He met various YouTubers, including our beloved Uncle Tony. And I just have to say, there's no way that it's not a Canadian psyops from the government. Please hear me out. I have much video proof to show you, much of which comes from Peg's own videos, self-admitting to his involvement with the Canadian government. But what you're about to see is, well, it's quite horrifying. If you have small children, please avoid their eyes. You ready?
You don't need arm there.
He can make direct contact with fire and not be harmed. That's because he is a government experiment for the Canadian government. A predecessor to
I knew that. I knew
what's
that.
known as Wolverine. As you can see, the results are horrifying. The power is tremendous. Good God. He's a government psyops, an agent, undercover sent to investigate the YouTube sphere of the automotive enthusiasts. He does not work alone, and he has the backing of Justin Trudeau.
Glorious Prime Minister, our supreme leader.
I know you don't believe me, and you're staring at me right now with much skepticism, but you don't have to believe me. You can take it from Peg himself. He outright admits to his mutations.
Slight guy. I'm old. My kidneys and my liver, I don't know, I got 3 each. I don't know, but they're all on their way out. So
I even have video footage of him leaving the liquor store, sitting in his car, and taking in his much needed vegan fuel in order to survive the harsh climate of the USA. And look, many of you are still skeptical. Trust me, I get it. But even Uncle Tony has received death threats and threats from the secret police of Canada on multiple occasions.
Moose and squirrel.
Threats, the bomb threats, people telling me that moose and squirrel are on the case. Any minute now, I should expect a cop on a horse to show up in front of my door, investigate.
Something do right.
I did not steal Peg's leg.
But it gets much, much worse, as Uncle Tony elaborates.
Video. He's supposedly got a video of meeting me in the driveway at my house. Okay, no, that wasn't really me. Have you guys never heard of a deep fake? Okay?
Yeah.
He's an unscrupulous character. Pay no attention. Don't believe a word he says.
I don't know about you, but I believe Uncle Tony. And I believe that this government secret super weapon is here to infiltrate the automotive enthusiasts of America and destroy us from within.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, no, everything he said there is exactly accurate.
Yeah.
Everything he said is exactly accurate.
Okay. Well, there we go. Tony
No, I've
lost
known
it.
that Peg was a psyop for years. And so is DD Speech Up. You know, they do strange things. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think that Dan is the guy and Danny is the girl, but no. But that's all I'm going to say about that.
Oh, jeez.
That's all I'm going to say about that. Think Big Mike.
Thank you, Bloodbattery. Thank you.
Think Big Mike.
Tony.
What? That's all I'm
We're
saying.
going to get kicked off YouTube.
That's all I'm saying.
Don't spread rumors. Canadians can be rough customers.
And aliens.
Oh my goodness. Don't
Which
spread
is-
rumors.
Which is what led to us nuking them during the Korean War.
Okay. Let's see. Sam says, in your opinion, can you reuse old lifters on a new cam if they are in good shape and still have a cram?
No. You can put new lifters on a used cam, and that's questionable. You can put new lifters on a used cam, but you can't put the other way around. You can't put used lifters on a new cam. The pattern, and here's why. The pattern for each individual lobe appears not in the lobe, but in the lifter itself. So that's why you could, like for instance, if you look at a cam, right, and you'll see that the wear marks on a used cam are sort of kind of uniform, right? They'll vary a little bit, but if you look at the wear marks on the corresponding lobes, the lobes are all over the place. So I believe that because the lifter is the more dynamic of the two, because not only is it going up and down, it's also spinning where the camera is only moving in one direction. I think that's why the lifter takes on the personality of the lobe and not vice versa. So that's why you can use new lifters on a used cam, but not use lifters on a new can.
Let's see. Your brother says rumors are good for ratings.
Hmm.
Not really.
Until they become fact.
Right. The truth is out there, Mopar Man 1978.
That's right. James, remember when everybody thought I was nuts? Right? Go back to what was it, the 90s? And everybody was like, you're nuts! You're absolutely nuts! None of this stuff is true. New World Order, right? Who's got the last laugh now, huh?
We're not done yet, Tony. We're not done yet.
Who's got the last laugh now?
Oh, see, you said those words. Now we're gonna get demonetized.
No, they won't get demonetized.
Yeah,
They like when you say their name.
No, they don't.
They like when you say their name. They don't like when you talk about the things they do.
Oh, they don't like that.
No.
Yeah.
Can't mention this or anything.
Right. Let's see.
But they like when you say their name.
Yeah.
Close.
Let's see. Unsubscribe, Joe Brennan says. J. Russell Finch says, people thought you were nuts? Question marks?
They all thought I was nuts. They were like,
I think he's being sarcastic, Tony.
oh, please. You do not know what I went through. I tried telling people. I tried telling everybody
James
what was going to
says,
happen.
don't underestimate your sanity.
I'm the sanest person you'll ever meet.
Well, you
Well,
have your moments.
You know, I have my moments, okay?
Sometimes you say things and I'm like, what?
I have my moments, right? Well, you know why? You know why?
No,
you know
why?
Okay, I'll tell you why.
And I'm pretty out there, but like sometimes you'll say something and I'll be like, wait a minute.
Well, okay. So I don't know how many of our viewers. There's a YouTuber. He's actually a former boxing champ. His name is David Nino Rodriguez, and he does a great show. So I share his attitude towards things. He'll have people on his show that are going in. These people are just bonkers, okay? But you hear them out. And you hear their side of the story. Because somewhere in that utter insanity, you're going to find a kernel of something that lines up with another truth. You see what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? And that's how I look at it. So people will tell me things that are absolutely insane, right? Or I'll view something that's absolutely off the chain, bonkers, insane, crazy. Oh, that's not even remotely possible. But I hear them out because there are certain things that align with other. Does that make any sense? So I'll tell Kathy, I just saw this thing about, and then she'll think I'm out of my mind because I'm taking it as I'm taking it as literal. I'm like, no, I just listened to it, and I know 99.8% of it is like nonsense. But that 0.2% of truth is a nugget that you want to
saved
hold
the
on to.
straight jacket on Amazon. It's on my wish
Did you?
list. Yeah, just in
fine.
case I
That's
need
fine.
it. I love gas stoves. Danny Boyd says.
Gas stoves rock.
Koi Boy BC says, what's better in your experience, 440 or 383?
I like the 383. It's more flexible. It's a happier engine. Not saying anything bad about the 440. I love 440s. But the 383 is out of all of the Chrysler engines, the whole universe of Chrysler engines, the 383 is my favorite.
Franco says, Tony, I remember Grolitz telling us the moon was made of titanium. That was in the 70s.
Well, okay, so here's the thing though. A lot of what Garlitz talked about, because I had a lot of correspondences with him about these specific things. This is 15, 18 years ago or thereabouts. But a lot of what he talked about is actually like the things that are becoming kind of like accepted. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a lot to this stuff. Now the story about Jackie Gleason, that's a little out there. I don't see how that could happen.
Everybody's Googling Jackie Gleason now. What's up, Barry?
Ari, what's happening, brother man? It's late to the party.
He is late to the party. It's okay. Look for Yuri Bezmenov. There's so much stuff out there.
I haven't
Like
heard
you
of
could you just Google all day long.
Well, it's like the flat Earth people. I
Yeah.
listen to the flat Earth people. No, but wait a second. It's not that I believe that the Earth is flat, but the truth is I don't
You
know.
listen to what their
Right.
stance is.
I do not know what anybody who can. Okay, here's how I look at it. Right, anybody who can tell you point blank the Earth is round, they don't know what they're talking about. Not that because the Earth isn't
This
round.
is not flat Earth advice.
This is not flat Earth advice. This is not flat Earth advice. But the fact of the matter is, none of us have ever actually experienced the Earth in its natural shape. Some people say it's pear-shaped. Okay, that makes sense. Some people say it's flat. That's out there, okay?
How fast are we spinning?
1,000 miles an hour.
Oh, it's pretty fast. That's why I'm dizzy.
24,000 miles, you know, and you do it in 24 hours, that's 1,000 miles an hour. So I'm not saying that the Earth is round. I'm not saying that the Earth is flat. I'm saying that I don't know what the Earth is because I have never, there's no way for me to actually make the calculations. You know, you listen to, you know, what the common wisdom is. You listen to what the outrageous wisdom is, and you try to find that common ground in the middle.
Is wisdom usually outrageous? I'm not sure if those two words go together.
Say that again now.
Franco says, I'm a big fan of Admiral Richard E. Byrd.
Admiral Byrd, yeah, see, there's another one, right? So, I mean, Byrd is an example of, you know, the flat earth people run that out there all the time. So the Byrd, okay, so his kid's diary, right? No, not the diary of the kid. The kid published his diary after he passed. So whether or not that's accurate, I don't know. That could have been just made up, right? But there's enough corroborating evidence for Operation High Jump and the fact that it
demonetized.
No, you can say that. You can say
Okay.
that. Our reptilian overlords are cool with saying Operation High Jump.
Oh, brother.
But the point is, a lot of the things that he observed and reported on would align with what the flat Earth people say. But I don't know because I'm not there. I'm not in, and I probably shouldn't say that word.
No, Fluxy didn't kill himself.
No, Foxy.
Okay, let's get some car stuff.
This is car stuff in a roundabout way.
Okay. What's up, Uncle T? You the man. Wish I could buy you a KFC bucket dinner with rolls and fried apple pies like they had back in the 70s. Brown gravy, too. We're starving.
Do you remember
I'm
that?
starving.
Well, I ate.
Oh, yeah,
too
you
much.
ate today.
I overate.
I did not eat enough. Tony's saying the world's a crazy place. Oh, yeah, the world is a crazy place.
What I'm saying is that the world is a mystery.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Okay, and anybody who can,
We know very little.
we know we know
Like to
less.
walk around acting like we know anything is really like ridiculous.
Right. I look at the world and I look at the universe and I look at all of these things and I flat out say I don't know. I just do not know.
Joe Brennan says Freiberger told me that the Earth is oblate and that flipping pistons can't make any measurable power difference. Sierra says Earth is a ball. Get over it, stupids.
It's yarn and there's the cosmic cat that swats it around. Yeah.
Let's see. Samantha Johnson says, "Is there a car out there that you think should have never been produced?"
Probably many, but I can't think of one off the top of my head right now.
Never been produced.
The later 70s Trans Ams I see as cars that shouldn't have been produced. They should have stopped around 73 or 74. Because at that point it was still a potent car, right? It was like the last of the real muscle cars. But I think that they went too far. And it's like they tried to maintain that thing when they went into that Weezer Oldsmobile motor and the 301s and all of that. And I think that diluted. Like the Pontiac Trans Am, they should have stopped 75.
You're
75.
saying like Aspen, Yugo, Vega, Fiero, Renault's, Kia Soul.
Well, I'm giving an example of a car that I think that they should have stopped.
Anything Kia.
No, Kia makes a nice car.
Dakota says he's unsubscribing.
The early Kias were kind of rough, but they make a nice car.
Aztec. The Duster. Charger. Let's see. Mitt Muscle says no way Tony 4th gen Trans Ams are a blast to drive.
4th gen. Wait, what would 4th gen be? 4th gen would be 80s. No, I'm talking about 2nd gen. 2nd gen. 70, they should have stopped at about 75. That was the high, 73 was really the high watermark for those. 74, 75, but they kept it going and they kept diminishing the
He
cost.
says 93 to 02.
Yeah, those are fine. Those are fine. I'm talking about the latest, the chicken bird with a flaming pepperoni pizza down on the hood cars.
PT Cruiser.
Yeah, they were just weird.
AMC Pacer.
No, I like Pacers.
Let's see what else to say. Le Car.
That was a mistake. Le Car was a bad one. The French built some really crazy shit. The Citroens and the Le Car, that was bad. With the 3 lug nuts. You know, that was the thing. You know, those cars will always be remembered for the 3 lug nuts.
Let's see. I'm unsubscribing 12 times, Dakota says.
Nice.
They have made the automotive industry a throwaway society, Jason Argenbright says.
Yes, they have.
I think the whole society. Reliant K. Mustang 2.
I'm a huge K car fan. I love K cars. I loved K cars when they came out. When it was my most active mechanic years in, you know.
That's because you just wanted Chrysler to survive.
No, it wasn't just that. I really did like those cars. They were
Did you?
so easy to work on.
No, you didn't. I don't remember you liking them that much. You made your dad buy one though,
Yeah.
so that Chrysler wouldn't go out of business.
No, I those cars, I had a great fondness for those cars during my mechanic years. You know, they were very easy to work on. I could knock out a timing belt on one of those engines in the 2.2 or the 2.5. I could knock out a timing belt in an hour.
Buster Max says, new subscriber. Tony, keep calling out the people that are doing people wrong and cheating them out of money.
When I come across one, I come across examples often, but not. I don't really feel that they're content worthy. When I come across something really egregious, that's when we do those.
We don't want to be the egregious channel, right?
No, I don't want to be the clickbait.
Yeah.
You know, ripped off.
Let's see. Are you still going to do the Roadrunner revival?
Yes. After the Charger,
What's the Roadrunner revival?
the 73.
Oh, the 73
Yeah.
you doing? What are you doing with that?
We're getting back on the road.
Oh, you gonna put brakes in it?
Yeah, we're gonna go through the car mechanically, but
Okay.
after the Charger is done, and we're back on the Charger this week.
Okay, so are we doing the interior on that car? Am I doing the interior?
Well, I got.
I'm afraid to take it apart. There's so many pieces.
One step at a time. One step
Okay,
at a time.
you let me know when you're ready for me to do that.
Yeah, and that's gonna be the Charger. Got to focus on the Charger.
I said the Charger.
Oh, I'm doing
That's what
with
I'm
the
talking about.
Roadrunner.
No,
Oh, you can start
Charger.
working on the interior anytime.
Oh, I can?
You're not gonna be in the way. I got it tomorrow. Not
Are
tomorrow.
you sure I'm not gonna be in the way?
Absolutely not.
Because you're not gonna like look at me and be like, "What are you doing?"
Well, if I'm physically working on the car, then don't. Right?
Okay, so what? I should just go in there when you're not there,
No,
like an
if I'm
elf.
doing something, there's lots of stuff. I'm working on shit all the time, all over the.
Right, you have to tell me when it's okay that you don't feel my presence in the room.
I gotta get this week. I gotta get, or soon next. I gotta get the transmission out of it and start doing all that.
Okay. What are your go-to snacks and drinks for a long road trip? Nothing.
Nothing.
Tony doesn't drink or eat or anything.
Yeah, nothing.
He makes everyone around him suffer.
It's true.
It's true. It's really horrible. You don't want to go anywhere with him.
It's true. I get a car wherever we gotta go. It's like
Artichokes, anyway.
damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. I don't stop for anything.
Yeah, like we've gone like whole days without eating because he won't
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah, it's true.
really brutal.
Well, no, that's not true now. That's not true.
It's
because
true.
No, because when we stop for gas, you can run in and get whatever you want.
Some peanuts.
Yeah. But for the most part, water, just because I want to stay hydrated.
Water.
I don't stop. Doesn't matter where we're going. I don't
No.
stop. It could be a 2-day trip. I just don't stop till we get there. So because of that, there's no like
No
pull
bathroom
or,
breaks. Yeah, they're very few and far between. You gotta beg for a bathroom break. He's always like, the next one, the next one, the next exit. Just hang on till we get to the next exit, and then we pass that one. And he's like, oh, let's get the next exit.
All right, here's what happens. When I'm on the road, I often say that I'm slightly autistic.
It's
I'm
horrible.
I'm ADD.
It's really bad.
Which, if you watch my channel, you know I'm ADD. I make no
Adult
bones about it.
diapers, yeah.
But I'm so ADD that
Would you stop for gas? He waits till the last minute to stop for gas.
Well, I'm explaining this now. Right? I'm explaining this now.
Okay.
I'm ADD, right? But I'm extreme ADD, borderline autistic in certain circumstances. And one of those circumstances is when I'm on the road. So if I've got to drive from here to, let's say, I don't know, Chicago, just to pick a random destination, the only thing I can think of while I'm there is watching the mile markers. Right? I can't think of anything else. I can't focus on anything else. And all I know is I have to cover every inch, every inch, every inch, every inch, every inch, every inch. And I do this for hours and sometimes days on end. And it's just the way I am. It's like, that's it. I just go into this, like,
Horrible.
this zone. And I've put her through this, countless times, and I feel bad. But
I'm gonna let you feel bad about it because it really wasn't like cool.
yeah, if I'm on the road, I don't listen to anything. I don't hear anything. I don't eat. I don't drink. I don't do nothing except I stare at the road and look every inch, every inch, every inch, every inch, every inch. 1 inch closer, 1 inch closer, 1 inch closer, 1 inch closer, and this is what's going through my mind.
Tony sounds like Howard Hughes.
I'm telling you like
There
it
are
is.
similarities. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm telling you like it is.
Oh, brutal. So brutal. What does Tony do if he hits traffic? What do you do?
I freak out.
He freaks
I freak out. I hit traffic and I freak out. I have been known to drive 30, 40, 50 miles out of my way.
You would be a good truck driver, James says.
I would be. I could just zone in and watch the road, and I'm good with that.
Are you wearing a blood pressure cuff while you're driving?
I'm going to give you a perfect example, right? So Power Tour, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I had considered taking one of our cars because we're going to Al took Sledgehammer, and I had considered for a very brief period of time going on Power Tour for an hour. I thought about that.
Yeah, before in the early
stages.
stages.
But I tell you why I said no. I'm not doing this is because it stops.
Yeah.
Right now,
It doesn't stop anywhere.
if Power Tour was just get
Just
your car,
drive it.
go there, go there, go there, go there, go there, and then come back. I'm all in. Let's do this thing. Okay? But the fact that it stops in places.
Like, what are you supposed to do? Talk to people?
Well, it's not a matter of talking to people. It's just that if I go from here, let's just say I go from here to Knoxville.
He's not
okay?
kidding, guys. Like,
I'm telling you like it
seriously.
is.
This is how he is. He means what he says.
If
This
it's
is real.
If it's to go from here to Knoxville, and then let's say go to Atlanta, I can't stop in Knoxville because I have to get to Atlanta. Now, if the next stop after Atlanta is Pensacola, Florida, well, I can't stop in Atlanta because I got to get to Pensacola.
Right?
If the next stop is Nashville, I can't stop there. I got to get home.
Right. Yeah.
So this is how I am. It's like it's hard to explain. I wish I was different.
No,
but
you
I'm
don't.
not.
You don't wish you were different.
It's the way I'm wired.
Forget about staying at a hotel.
I will not stay in a hotel. First off, I don't stop.
Well, we went to Florida and we did only because the dogs.
Yeah. We took the dogs.
Tony needs to run the cannonball.
Oh, I could do that. I could do that. And the iron butt. I've often thought about doing the iron butt. I think I would love to do the iron butt. But that requires too much time away from the channel. So
Yeah.
it's not something that's in the
Make him a passenger so he has no choice. Yeah, that won't work. He just let me drive sometimes. And he'll fall asleep.
yeah.
You can let me drive. That's nice. I get to stop then.
Yeah, when I'm asleep.
When you sleep.
I'll pull over here.
Get the ladies' room. There are worse abusive relationships to have. Right, yeah.
Listen, guys, I'm just telling you,
It's just funny.
I honestly love you people. And I am as honest as I could possibly be. And I'm telling you what it is.
Why
I'm
do you
telling
roll
how
your
I
own
am.
cigarettes? Do you save a lot of money?
No, these things are healthy.
Yeah, they're not healthy. Don't tell people they're healthy.
People smoke for
Okay, yeah,
hundreds,
right,
thousands
but
of
don't
years.
tell people that
There was
they're
never an
healthy.
issue. Never an issue. You never heard the Indians, the old Indians that
They
sat around
didn't
and
smoke
smoked a
every
peace
day.
pipe. Yes, they did.
Constantly. No, they didn't. They were busy.
Tobacco was a big thing.
All right, Tony.
All through the ancient world, tobacco was a
Yes,
thing.
yeah, right. Okay.
It didn't become an issue until they put filters on
All
it.
right, okay. Let's see. Michael Taylor says, I love your vids. You're so down home and cool. You're cooler than Billy Gibbons.
Thank you.
Cigarettes are safe and effective.
They
yeah,
are.
right. Tony, you're like me. Roll one cig at a time.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. It kind of limits your smoking. You know what I mean? It's when you have a pack, it's very easy. Because I would smoke Lucky Strikes or Camels, Pall Malls, unfiltered cigarettes, but I smoked way too many of them, and then you could taste the chemicals. So these things that you roll, there's no chemical taste. There's nothing. You smoke a packaged cigarette, let's say like a Lucky Strike, and it's like you can taste the chemicals. It's like it's harsh. It's kind of like if you eat regular food and you go to Burger King and you get a Whopper, the bread leaves this chemical aftertaste in your mouth. You know it's like this is evil. This is trying to kill you. But if you eat it all the time, you don't notice it. That's the same thing with the tobacco.
Let's see. Steve B says New York to Florida didn't even turn the car off.
Oh yeah, I've done that. I can't tell you how many times.
You should smoke a pipe, Ski says. You have a pipe.
She bought a pipe to use as a prop for a video that we never made.
Yeah. Are we making that video?
We will.
All those things are going to be too old and out of context if we don't do it soon.
All right, we'll get on that.
Okay. The one pit stop that Tony goes to on a road trip is out of Bueller tobacco. No, he takes plenty with him.
Yeah, I take an abundance
That
of
he
tobacco.
stocks up
Right.
on. Yeah. This is not hamburger culinary advice.
Every time I go someplace, she'll always pack a bag for me, and I come back and the bag's never opened because I don't stop long enough to change clothes. I'm just
Nice, Tony.
gone. It's nice to know they're there,
Yeah.
but I don't.
Larry Smith. Tony, are you going to keep the Corvair turbo mufflers on the Charger, or are you changing up the exhaust system?
I did change out the exhaust system like 2 years ago. It's got Flowmasters on it now. It's got a 3-inch system front to back. That's why I got rid of the Corvair turbo mufflers, just because I wanted a big diameter exhaust to match the motor. And man, it made a huge. I'm not crazy about the Flowmaster sound, but they work. Okay. It made a huge difference in the car's, let's say, 3,000 to 5,000 RPM range performance. The exhaust I had in there sounded great, but it was choking the motor. What happened? What happened?
No. Let's see. You should have been a truck driver. Let's see. Gold Coast Auction says, I sold a 78 Dodge Aspen wagon on BAT and only got 5,600. People don't like the F-bodies.
Yeah, I mean, the F-body is really an acquired taste. I like them, but it's hard to sell like a Mopar. Somebody looking for a Mopar, they're not thinking Aspen Valari.
No, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I saw on Facebook there was a question like, what's your favorite body? You know, A, B, C, E, F. F had like
None.
0.1%. Yeah. It's kind of sad actually. Jay Malone says, I love station wagons.
Who doesn't love a long roof?
Caleb Parker says, Tony, if you were given one brand new car for free, what would it be? One brand new car.
One brand new car for free, what would it be? The car that popped into my head was a Tesla Plaid.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's the car that popped into my head. So that's my not thinking about it answer.
Yeah, okay.
If I think about it, one new car for free, what would I want? I don't know. I really, it's a hard question for me to answer.
So I guess it's a Tesla Plaid.
I find them interesting. I find them interesting. What would you want? Somebody's to give you one car for free. One new car for free.
A new car?
Yeah.
I don't even know what's out there, to be honest. I
You're not paying
honestly
attention?
don't pay attention. No, I don't. I have no idea what's new. We should do that. We should do a new car episode where we go to all the dealerships and we look at what's new. A new Corvette?
No.
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 A Mustang? Dark Horse Mustang 2024?
No.
They make that noise.
Yeah, I can't handle it. I don't care how fast it goes. It could do 3 second quarter miles. I do not
I do
care
like
how
the
fast it goes. I can't
Mustangs.
listen to
I just
They're beautiful.
The sound is
The
terrible.
Mustangs are beautiful.
I would, if I had to get a new car.
Yeah.
I would probably get a Mustang, but
I
the
could
way
not-
they sound is, we'd have to change the
I
motor.
could not listen to that. I could not live with myself listening to that freaking car.
A new Supra, a Prius,
No.
a Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk.
Well, here's the question. Is it one that I'm keeping, or is it one that I'm just going to use for a little while and flip off? Because if it's one that I'm just going to use for a little while and then get rid of, like, I'm not going to own this friggin' thing, a Grand Wagoneer.
If you're not gonna own it,
Yeah, if I'm not going to own it. If somebody's
Really?
like, if I'm going to own it and I have to deal with all of the technology taking a shit over the course
no, like that thing makes me like cringe. It's
of...
cringy.
Is it really?
It's every seat has a screen on it.
Yeah, I know. I don't like
I
that
wouldn't be
part.
able to handle that. I feel like that it would be overwhelming. Just to know that there's screens on every seat. It's mentally overwhelming.
The fireplace dashboard.
Right, the fireplace dashboard.
Okay,
It's too much.
Scratch the Grand Wagoneer, but they are beautiful.
They're pretty.
They're beautiful. You know, I see them. I see them on the road occasionally now, and I'm like, oh, that's nice, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, then I think about what's inside. It's a freaking pinball. It's a video game. The whole inside of the car is a video game. No, scratch that.
Okay, so then what would it be?
Like I said, I find the Plaid interesting.
You should go test drive one. Can you?
I don't think they do that.
They don't do
I
that?
don't think they do that.
You have to buy it to drive it?
Yeah.
Well, la-di-da.
Something will pop into my head. Like I
Okay.
said, it's something I haven't really thought
Does
about.
anybody have a Plaid that Tony could drive? Let's see, 4Runner is the best thing you could get. A GT350 500 are nice. 23 Dodge 3500 dually diesel fully loaded. Let's see. My niece always gets a kick out of you giving her a shout out. Her name is Analea.
Analea, what's happening?
Thanks
sweetheart?
again, Hayden says. What's up, Analea? Come on, Tony, say Hellcat.
No, I have no interest in a
That's
Hellcat.
what people would expect you to say.
Is it? I don't even
I
know.
would think so. I mean,
If I wanted a Hellcat, we'd have a Hellcat. It's that simple. I have no interest in a Hellcat.
If we had to go buy a brand new car right now, what would you get?
Something with towing capacity, but something that wasn't huge.
Okay.
I don't want anything I have to climb up into. I don't want anything that I have to stand on my tippy toes to get into the bed or under the hood of. So it would be something small, but with like a 8,000 pound towing capacity.
So nothing performance oriented. You would rather have a tow vehicle.
Yes.
Interesting. Samantha Johnson says, you can give my boy Riley a huge shout out too. Laugh out loud.
Riley, what's happening, Riley?
What's up, Riley?
Riley, what would you have? What would your new car be?
A Camel. Dodge Rampage. Hellcat. Ram with a Cummins would be my go-to, Ari says. Let's see.
I don't want anything that big.
A Lotus Evora. An unobtrusive exotic car with a Toyota power plant. At least maintenance won't be a heart-stoppingly expensive. Okay, a Jeep. You want a new Jeep? You want to get a new Jeep, right?
No.
New pickups are too tall.
Yeah, see, that's what you run into. That's what you run into.
Jay Malone says, so basically a C4 Corvette with a tow hitch.
Yeah, no.
Scott Patterson says, if you can have any new car for free and you choose anything but a Corvette, you were just wrong.
They don't talk to me, man. They just don't talk to me. I see them. I don't have anything bad to say about them. But it's just not me. You know what I mean? It's just not me.
Eric Uncover says, good evening, guys. Eric from Detroit.
What's happening, Eric?
Craig says, Chevy Colorado towed my F-150 on a flatbed. Got 20 miles per gallon.
Colorados aren't bad.
Let's see. We'll never buy another new vehicle, will we?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Just the one we had.
The only new vehicle I ever
Yeah.
bought in my life was my Mustang.
Yeah. Let's see.
We kept it for 1 year. And took a beating on it.
I like my 94 Roadmaster wagon, 5.7,
Those are
LT1.
nice. But that wasn't the question. The question was new vehicle.
New vehicle.
New vehicle.
Let's see, Scat Pack Challenger for me. Joe K says the problem with new vehicles is that you can't see out of them. I've noticed that. Whenever we've rented a car, I would turn my head and be like, why can't I look out the back window? They want you to use that stupid screen. I'm not using it.
I did rejoin the modern era. You know, I spent a lot of my life in the modern era at the time that it was the modern era. That sounds so weird.
Yeah, okay.
But the XJ has brought me back into kind of the modern era. And I cannot begin to tell you how much I love the XJ. But that's really as far as I want to go. It's like, to me, the red XJ, the black one, not so much. The black one is good. It runs great. It runs great. But it doesn't have the same feel as the two-wheel drive. The two-wheel drive, my red one, we talk about this all the time.
We discuss
We both.
XJs all the time.
We do. Steve Miggs put out a video today, I think it was, right? And I don't even know what the video was about, but there was two XJs in the background, right? And it's like, I'm like, Kathy, look, XJs.
Right. I was like, oh, nice.
So, the XJ is as new a vehicle as I want. The XJ is pure perfection. And I'm going to say, for a road vehicle, the XJ, the two-wheel drive XJ, is a 10. It's a solid 10. Like, there's nothing else that even comes close. Now, I'm talking about performance car. I'm talking about muscle car. I'm talking about something you drive, okay? The two-wheel drive 97 to 2001 XJ is a perfect, solid 10. And I would say that the four-wheel drive is about a 6. There's that much of a difference in the way the two cars handle. But still, a solid 6, maybe a 7.
Average neighbor says I regret trading my XJ.
Yeah.
Willpower Man 1978 says Tony, not even a new Jeep pickup.
Mm-mm.
You don't like those, right?
No, they go out of their way. Like, okay, like you got all the new Jeeps, right? They like go out of their way to make it like this presence thing. And it's like, no, man, I like to understate it. I love the way the XJ is just understated. It's a sport wagon. It's not a, you know what I mean? It's not like, Rubicon. No. Right? I don't need that. I don't want that. I'm not going to the freaking Rubicon, right? I don't have mowing in my fucking backyard. And if I did, I still wouldn't want anything like that. The XJ is pure, absolute perfection. Perfection.
Samantha says Riley says he wants an 80s Dodge truck.
Okay, cool.
Efox says UT, are you a fan of resto mods?
No, not at all. Not at all. If I was, I'd have one.
Let's see. Good day from Adelaide. Same engine in the TJ Jeep.
I like my performance cars. If it's a performance car, okay, I like it as bare as possible. Like I don't want nothing. I mean
No paint.
Well, I mean paint.
No, I know, I'm joking.
I want nothing in that car. I don't want to be able to have a conversation in a performance car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it should be raw, crude, bare, 0 options, nothing. Okay, to me that's a performance car. And if it's something that I'm going to drive, just drive every day, I want smooth, quiet. I just don't want any. I can explain it to you. I want nothing. You know what I mean? I want nothing.
Let's see. Resto mod with hidden mods is okay with me, Danny Boyd says.
Just doesn't do anything for me.
Two cases base model performance cars have even way more stuff in them than old cars fully loaded.
Right, and that's what turns me off about them. Okay, like for instance, okay, you talk about like a Hellcat or something like that. They're too puffy. I don't like that bloated
Fat,
thing,
yeah.
right? I want my car like a ballerina, not a sumo wrestler. Okay?
Lean.
Yeah, honestly, right?
Like your car's lean
Honestly,
looking.
and this is okay. It's like this is what turns me off about all of the new performance cars, right? I want a ballerina, not a sumo wrestler. And I don't want. Okay, when I bought my Mustang, so it was back in 1987, right? I had to go through this big hullabaloo to get the radio deleted because I was buying it as a performance car. To me, it is a performance car. So the radio. 87 was like the first year that the radio was standard. Like you had to order it in previous years. And I told him, I says, listen, if this thing comes through and there's a radio in it, I'm not taking delivery. And I think I even made him write that down, when we ordered the car. So it came as a radio delete. But when I got the car back, I found it was radio delete. It had a radio delete plate on it, but it had all of the speakers and the wiring in it. And it's like, what? I bought this freaking car because I want a performance car, not because I want a radio, right? Or speakers or anything like that.
Like a psycho.
But that's how I am.
Like you were crazy,
I'm a
like they didn't
purist.
understand.
I'm a purist.
You didn't want a carpet either, you wanted a mat.
Please. I went through this whole thing with them, right? Because I had seen a Mustang, a Fox Mustang, and this is at the time, this was 1987. I had seen one that had like rubber floor mats, and I was like, that's what I want in my car. I don't want a carpet, I want rubber freaking floor mats. No, we can't do that. And then manual steering, that was the other thing too. They only built this car with power steering, and I ended up having to take that, which was, but and so if I was going to order a performance car today, that's how I want it. I don't want all of these gizmos. I don't want computer this and display that and camera the other thing. And no, just take it away. I don't want any of that shit.
Yeah. That's why we don't have anything new. Let's see. XJ David says two-wheel drive XJ is not very common in Colorado. What's the miles per gallon like with the two-wheel drive?
20. The car gets
Really good.
a solid 20, sometimes more. Sometimes more. Like if I'm only on 50-mile-an-hour roads, and I'm not crazy about interstates, right? So I like to take back roads whenever possible. And if I make a trip on like a 50-mile-an-hour road, 55-mile-an-hour road, it'll average 22, 23. On an interstate, it's 70 miles an hour, it'll average 19, 20, like that. And around town, it gets like 19, 20. The black one, lucky if it gets 16.
Yeah, Tony just wants the body in white with an engine in it.
That's it. That's all I want.
I've never seen a rubber floor mat in a Fox or any Mustang.
Maybe I'm mistaken, honestly, but that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted.
What kind of camera do you use? A Canon M50 and the GoPro.
Yeah.
Let's see. GoPro 10. Let's see. Tony needs a 70s Jeep Cherokee Super Chief 4x4.
Well, that's what we started looking at. And that's what we ended up just buying this Cherokee just because we looked at a bunch of early Cherokees and they were all disastrous. It was, I'm too old to dedicate my time to putting something like that back together again for the purpose of just driving it. So I was like, no, let's just pass on this. So we ended up buying the red XJ on a whim, and we got it for because motor knocks, and it's been knocking for 52,000 miles now. Tuck, 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 tuck. If you watch Peg's videos, Zip Ties and Bias Plies, when he shows up in my driveway, you hear me pulling up in the Jeep, tuck, 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 and it's done that for 52,000 miles now. But we got that thing. I paid.
You're just waiting for it to stop running.
You have to wait for it to stop running. I paid like $800 for it because hey man, it needs a motor. Okay, it needs a motor. I gave $800 and I've driven it every single day since.
Let's see. Hey Tony, Buick 3.8 V6 or Chevy 3.4 V6. I got a 1998 Buick LeSabre, 25 miles per gallon and quicker than my 95 Chevy C1500 with the 350.
Yeah, the Buick V6s, once they split the throws on the crankshaft, that made all the difference in the world. Those engines are great.
Let's see. Yeah, they have way too many safety features these days, and the computer trying to tell me what to do and how to drive. I'm sorry. You can keep it and literally rub a performance car. It's a luxury car. Yeah. Gold Coast Auction says, any difference between Fox Body and Mercury Capri?
No, they're the same except for trim differences.
How about the V6 turbos that came in the Grand Nationals?
How can you argue with that? Those engines, that was the final incarnation of that engine, and they nailed it.
Let's see. Down in the boondocks. Any difference between? Oh no, I asked you that one already. Hang on. We have a 1996 Jeep Cherokee Sport XJ rear-wheel drive, good gas mileage.
Yeah. As a mechanic over the years, I worked on many XJs, but they never registered to me. And I drove many of them, and they never clicked as anything special until I got the two-wheel drive. Once you get a two-wheel drive XJ, there's nothing else that compares to it. There is no other vehicle that compares to it. It is the friendliest. Is that the word? What's the word I'm looking for?
Well, for the two-wheel drive, you're saying is the friendliest.
Yes.
The four-wheel drive is not as friendly.
It's not as friendly.
It's more like
it's ponderous.
Ponderous, yeah.
It's ponderous.
Clunky.
Compare. Now, if you only drive four-wheel drive XJs, you won't see it as ponderous. You'll think of it as nimble. But when you go you go direct. You drive a four-wheel drive, you get out of that, and you get into the two-wheel drive. There's such a night and day difference, you wouldn't even think they were the same vehicle.
The two-wheel drive drives better, they're asking?
No comparison.
Yeah, really nice.
No comparison.
Very agile.
It's The friendliest vehicle. Look, listen.
It's happy to drive. It's a pleasure to drive.
I have driven exactly. I have driven everything you can drive, every type of car. Right? Not obviously not every single car, but every type of car. Driven them all and owned a bunch. Nothing I have ever driven or experienced is as friendly. That's the key word now. Friendly as a two-wheel drive XJ.
Yeah.
And it's not just me. She's the same.
Yeah, I really like it.
There's no lie. There's no lie, right? Almost any time we have to go anyplace, her and I sit there and talk about how awesome the X. Am I making this up?
No, you're not making it up.
Am I making this up?
I always say that it's kind of like the Dart, like the Swinger, except it's a station wagon.
Yeah. Yeah, it has a very 60s Mopar feel to it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's much more refined.
Mm-hmm.
So you get that there's a connection, even though it doesn't actually exist. There's like a connection to the 60s and 70s Mopars, but it's quieter, it's smoother, it's everything you could possibly want.
Even though ours is loud, as engine noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, well, every time we go anyplace, we could just be going out to eat, and it's like, this thing is great. And she's like, I love the XJ. How many times do you say it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It's awesome.
literally, we're like kids.
It's an
We're like
awesome
kids.
truck.
We've had this thing for almost 2 years now, right? And we're like kids.
About a year and a half.
A year and a half. We're like kids. We're like, do you love this thing as much as I do? I love it more than you. You couldn't possibly love it more than I do. I love the XJ. No, you don't. I love the XJ. We do this all the time. It's like every day. It's ridiculous.
Funny. Mike Brunello says, I have a 2002 door two-wheel drive 5-speed XJ.
Oh, you got the brass bell there, the brass ring of XJs.
Funny. Squishy Cakes wants to know, what did Tony think of the little red truck in the 70s?
Maverick's truck?
I don't know.
Bill Golden.
Mm-hmm.
It was. Oh, wait. The Little Red Wagon, the wheelie car, or the Little Red Wagon Express pickup? Because the pickup.
Little Red Express? I don't know.
It never did anything for me. It was a big deal. They made a big deal over it because it was faster than the Corvette in that year. And whatever year it was. I don't even know what year it was. And they made such a big
The
deal
Dodge
over it.
truck, he says.
Right.
Yeah.
But it never did anything to me. And what I think what turned me off about that was that originally when Chrysler announced that they were going to do that, it included W2 heads. It was supposed to be a W2 head 360 in that thing. And it turned out to be just a regular production 360. And at that point I'm like, no, it doesn't do anything for me.
And XJ is a Cherokee?
Yes. Yeah. And
Now everybody's going to go buy Cherokees, and you're going to drive
That's
the price
fine.
up,
We need
and
to
we're not
save
going to
them.
be able to get
we need to save them. Save the XJs.
Funny.
Save the XJs.
Let's see, Dakota says, I'd love to have one of those trucks.
Go get one, bro. Go get one before they disappear. They're going to disappear. Because it's not just me. I'm not the only one. People are discovering these things. Like the younger generation. I see a lot of young guys driving them. Like in their late teens or early 20s.
Yeah, well, they're cheap. Well, they were cheap. They're getting more expensive now.
And
They're nice.
There's a couple of them in the area that are just absolutely pristine. There's a silver one that I see. I guess it's my generation. It's either 98, 99, 97, 98, 99. And it's silver and it's pristine, like it just came out of the wrapper. And a young kid drives it, and I see it in the neighborhood. And I keep trying to, every time I see him, he always goes in opposite directions. But I keep trying to stop him just to check it out. It's a beautiful truck.
Okay, we have a few minutes left.
Okay.
Cheaps. Yeah. Let's see. I have a 4.6 liter S10. What's your thoughts?
I had a 4.3 liter S10 for a while. It was slammed. Kathy was just talking about that.
My back.
I had it when I was in New York, and it was slammed. It had Corvette wheels on it. It was a 4.3, and but yeah, that was a kidney buster. That was rough.
If you live in New York with a bunch of potholes, yeah.
Yeah. Did I have it down here? Yeah, I did.
Yeah, we had it down here for a while.
when I first, like the week I moved down here, I sold it, and I shouldn't have. I should have held on to it.
I would be crippled if I never held onto that truck.
That was a good truck, though.
Oh. Don't see the XJ trucks much anymore. Not really. Every once in a while we see them in traffic.
Yeah, it is the perfect vehicle. I mean, it.
Oh my god, UT was a mini truck guy.
Oh, I love mini trucks.
I'm moving, he's rolling a cigarette. Okay. Let's look at this.
I love mini trucks.
Is the XJ a full frame?
No, it's unibody. It's unibody and the most nimble and happy vehicle I've ever encountered.
Let's see. Tons of XJs left on the road in Colorado. Yeah, I'm sure that there's a lot there. You done, Tony?
Yeah.
I want to see an XJ Miata now. Okay, XJ David is his name.
Nice.
Would it be crazy to try to hone and re-ring a single cylinder in car?
No, not at all. Do it. Do it.
Let's see. 78 Lincoln Mark V, 460 stock motor, best CFM carb, 650 or 750 or bigger.
Bigger than 460. But really, what are you going to do with that thing? That's a 5,800 pound car. I mean, man, I would go with a moderately sized spread bore. Don't worry about total CFM because you'll never use it. In that case, you know, if it was a drag oriented car and you're going for, you know, horsepower, right? Then yeah, big car, right? You almost can't overcarburate that engine. But for that Lincoln, no, man, I would go with a moderately sized 500 600 CFM spread bore carburetor, and you'll be happy.
Cheap XJs here in Florida everywhere, no two-wheel drives.
Yeah, it's a shame, man. It's a shame. It's a shame.
We have to fight over the red one to see who's going to drive it.
It's the truth. We have. I mean, it's literally
There's cars everywhere.
There's cars everywhere, right? And they all run. But we literally, you know, who's taking, you know, Big Red? You know what I mean? Neither one of us want to drive anything else.
Where's Peg's leg? We don't have Peg's leg. It was a joke.
I never even met the man.
That guy was like, did you see that guy that, oh no, I saved that one.
Which
I
one?
saved that comment about the guy that said, it shows in his video that he met you, you freaking liar. You're disgusting.
People are so.
I'm hoping he's like 12 and not an adult. Let's see. Plymouth had the Trail Duster, their version of the Ram Charger.
Yep.
Rob's Classic says, I've always wanted a Comanche.
Yeah, you know, I never wanted one. I never thought in terms of Comanches. I've seen them around, but now, yeah. I mean, if I found a good deal on a Comanche, I would grab it.
You're an inspiration, Jason says.
Well, thank you, Jason.
That's very nice. See, sometimes people say nice things.
Yes. And ultimately, I think that's the whole goal of this channel, is to help inspire people.
Mm-hmm.
Like if this channel had a mission statement,
Mm-hmm.
which it doesn't, it probably should.
No.
If this channel had a mission statement,
Well, it actually does. It has an about.
it has an about, which is different. But if this channel had a mission statement, it would be to inspire people, to get people off their ass and get their wheels turning, get them thinking. You know, because lots of people will inspire you to actually get off your ass and go work on stuff, right? Vice Grip is a perfect example of that. You know, you watch him do his thing, and it's like, yeah, I'm inspired. I want to go out there and I want to work on my old car, and that's cool. That's good. We try to inspire people to think. You know what I'm saying? To think. you know, and because that's a big part of it, and, and it's like the biggest part of it, but nobody ever talks about that.
Shakespeare X says, in hindsight, was the Miata build a waste?
No, I mean it got views. It paid for itself like multitude times over because of views. It was an experience. I had to get it out of my system. You know, it's something I looked at and I was like, I got to do
think you
this.
had fun building it.
I had a
You had a
blast
blast
building it.
it.
That was the thing. I had, you know, I tell you why I had so much fun building that was because I just did not care.
Right.
Right?
You didn't give a crap.
I didn't give a shit. We did that whole thing in like 2 months, right? Like soup to nuts from the time I started working on it to the time we drove it out there. And the awesome part of that build was that I just did not care. Here's a slant six. I got to stick in this thing and I'm going to make it run. And I had building that car. I had more fun building that car than I've had in a very long time. But the end result didn't do it for me.
Yeah. Can you buy the Miata? No, the Miata's gone.
It's gone. I
It
parted it out.
it out. Are you going to the Mopar show in Carlisle, PA this summer?
No.
Are we going anywhere this year?
Yes.
Where are we
but
going?
We're
A
going,
trip?
because I'm a neurotic recluse,
Yeah.
and I
Where are
am
we
a
going?
neurotic recluse. I plan on hitting several events this year, but you won't know which
Which
ones
ones?
they are.
Are you
until-
gonna not tell me either?
No, I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
I don't know which ones they are. I probably need to put them on the calendar.
They're all going to be drag racing oriented events, or events that happen around drag strips,
Okay.
right? But
Are we racing anything?
yes, each of our cars is definitely going out.
Huh.
Um,
Not an erotic recluse, neurotic.
Yeah, I'm neurotic. I'm a neurotic recluse. But I don't want any anticipation.
Well, I need to know about it.
You'll know, but we're not going to announce where we're going. We'll just be there and we'll do our
Okay,
thing and we'll
that's
get out
fine.
of there.
So we're gonna go, and then we're gonna leave.
Yes,
And what are we gonna do in between?
our thing.
Are
We're going to do our thing. We're going to do whatever we went there to go do.
you gonna wear a shirt that says "I'm not him"?
No. No.
Is this gonna be a fun trip? Fun
Yes,
trips?
we're gonna have-
Are you
yes.
sure?
Yes, we will have fun.
I'll have a good time.
We have 3 cars right now as it stands that are sitting there, absolutely perfect, ready to go.
Yeah.
Pour fuel in them and send them.
Okay.
So we're gonna put all 3 of those cars through their paces this year, and there are several events I plan on hitting.
But you're not gonna tell
we're not
anybody
No.
where they are.
No, because that was the thing. So like, okay, the slanted nationals.
Mm-hmm.
We went to that last year, okay, and that was a big mistake because not going to the event. Going to the event was fine, right? But we said that we were going to go, and because we said we were going to go, it was expected that we would be parked someplace like, you know. But that's not how I like to do things. I don't want to be in the middle of people. I pitted all the way at the far end of the track
Well,
because
some people didn't like that.
yeah,
Apparently,
right. Some people
We've
didn't
heard.
like that, right?
They were sorry that you came.
Okay, yeah, they were sorry that I came.
Right.
But you know what? I didn't go there. I didn't go there to do anything except go participate and go to have fun. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, look, YouTube is a blessing and a curse at the same time. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time. It's a blessing because I get to do this stuff for a living, and I mean, I've done a lot of things. Okay, this is the most rewarding thing we've ever done. It's not the most. It doesn't bring in the most amount of money. It's not the most, challenging. It's nothing like that. But overall, it's the most rewarding thing that we've done because of you guys. But at the same time, it doesn't allow you to just go be yourself. And if I go to a place, right, I just want to be myself, right? I don't want to be Mr. YouTube. I don't. Does that make any sense?
Are you asking me or are you asking everybody else?
I don't even know. I don't even know. But it takes away your ability to just go to a place and just have fun and not worry about putting on some sort of.
I think no matter what you do, people are gonna complain. Like, I mean, if you park too far away, it's gonna be like, oh, he parked too far away.
Right, if you
Oh,
park too close,
we're
he's
sorry that he
egomaniac.
came. Right, yeah,
Right.
like you did this, he did that. Like, no
You're
matter
damned
what, yeah, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. That's kind of the way it is. If you're too friendly, you're like, oh, he's an egomaniac. Or if you're not friendly, it's like, oh, he's a jerk. So it's like no matter what, it's kind of like you don't know how to act. So I guess I can see that.
Okay. So we went 2 weeks ago. We went to the Tennessee Auto Rama, right? And we did a video on the Pinto. And while we were there, several people were like, Uncle Tony, and I'm like, hey, and it
So
was,
he's very friendly.
I'm very friendly. I love people. I love people.
He's very friendly.
I love meeting people. But you got to hear me out on this, right? So you shake hands, you fist bump, right? Hey, can I get a quick picture? Sure. You know what I mean? And you take a quick picture, and then you get the ones that have to. They stop you, they corner you, and they tell you their life story. And this happens every single freaking time. And what that does is it tarnishes. I didn't go to this event to be anybody except somebody attending the event, and I'm looking for parts the same way that you're
Like
looking
I
for
can
parts.
see if you had like a table and a tent set up, or a
Right,
booth
exactly.
with like your merch and stuff like that, and you're signing autographs, and then I can see like you're in that position. You need to do that.
Right. If I live to be, listen to me. If I live to be 10,000 years
That
old,
will never happen.
that'll never happen. There's no amount of money. There's no amount of coercion. There's no amount of anything that anybody could can offer me that would make me sit in a booth and
Well,
sign
this
autographs.
is why you
or-
stopped doing magazines.
This is
so-
why I stopped doing magazines. Like,
Okay. We disconnected for a second.
okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So I go to the Tennessee Autorama, and it's like, or any event, and that's exactly what happens.
It was good though. The few people that you met there were very nice,
Yes.
and they didn't like hound you.
There was one or two, okay. There was one or two, but the point is, if I go to an event, if I go to a show, or if I go to a race, or I
Now,
go
if
to
they're
a swap
listening,
meet,
they're gonna be like, "Was it me?" You shouldn't say stuff like that.
if I go to a show, an event, a swap meet, if I'm out and about, if I'm doing anything, guys, I'm there doing the same thing that you are. You know what I'm saying? If something catches my eye, then okay, YouTube Tony pops up, and then okay, we'll shoot a video like on this Pinto. Okay?
YouTube Tony.
Yeah, but there's YouTube Tony and there's regular Tony. And regular Tony goes to an event, goes to a race, or goes to a show, goes to a swap meet, goes to anything, right?
Let's just say if you're not making video, you're regular Tony.
Yeah,
Let's just leave it at that.
right, exactly. She carries her camera just in case.
Right.
But that's as far as it goes. So what happens is it ruins the experience. Like I said, the friendly fist bumps and stuff like that. That's awesome. I love that. Hey, can you take a quick picture with me?
Sometimes you
Sure,
meet
let's
cool
do that.
people, right? Sometimes you meet cool people.
Sometimes I meet very cool people.
Yeah.
I know, I always meet cool people.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always that person that's got to throw themselves at you, and it just doesn't. It's terrible. It's terrible. And you feel bad because they don't mean anything bad by it. You know what I mean? And I'm always friendly to them. I'm never. I'm always worried that I offend them. You know what I'm saying? That like I'm blowing them off because I'm kind of trying to blow them off because I didn't really hear. I didn't. What? Kathy's going.
Calm down. Bruce Lee KO sent you $5. Let's
Thank
hear
you.
some conspiracy theories.
Which one do you want to hear about?
Everybody's like, "Oh my God, Tony's crazy."
You know what? Maybe I am. Maybe I am.
Working with famous people, just treat them like a normal person, but don't be annoying.
Right.
Yeah.
The recognition is awesome. I love the recognition. It's very rewarding. But there's a there's a limit. There's an extent there. Just I don't know.
Can I interrupt you while you eat a stromboli in person?
People will do that. I've done that. I'm coming from the concession stand. I got food in my hands. And I'm like, Uncle Tony, let me tell you about my first car. No, don't tell me about your
Just tell
first
me
car.
right now. Oh, funny. Let's see. You're out UT spotting? What's that? Let's see. Tony needs to go undercover. It's funny. You're funny, Tony.
Probably.
Tony, I need a hat. I need a hat and a not him t-shirt. I can be a decoy.
I gotta get the rubber nose.
The rubber nose and
Yeah,
mustache?
the fake mustache.
The glasses.
But I've always been like this. This is nothing new.
Yeah.
This is
You want to
nothing
be
new.
yourself, not a
I
celebrity.
just want to be myself.
Yeah. Because some people really enjoy, that thing, that kind of thing.
Which thing?
Like
Some
setting
people
up a
live for that.
tent, right.
They want to sign
It's
autographs
just their
and stuff like that.
personality, different personality.
Everybody has different personality. And that's not my personality.
Yeah.
But that's not to say if we run across each other out in the world and you
Tony's
recognize
very nice.
Yes.
He's really nice.
and you want to shake hands.
You
want
make
to
it
fist,
sound like you're a psycho.
You want
though.
to fist bump. You want to take a quick picture. Yeah, man, let's do it. That's awesome. And thank you for the recognition. I greatly appreciate it. But just leave it at that. Right?
Let's see.
And I don't sign autographs.
You ever get mistaken for a rabbi? Funny.
I should grow up the PAs.
Yeah. Those are cool. Careful with the disguise. Groucho Marx has more fans than Tony. That's true.
But what has he done lately?
Nothing. Craig says, as long as we're happy, to hell with everyone that doesn't like the fact you have a life, and that old saying that if you don't have any haters, you're not doing it right. UTG. Yeah. Yeah.
I've always said that. The haters help.
Haters help.
They do. They get us views.
Okay. Carol, let's see. Let's see. You could go as a Canadian in disguise.
My arms aren't long enough.
No?
No.
Oh, yeah? Wow. That's bad. Now the Canadians are going to go crazy. Let's see. Parkins, Florida says, just finished converting my car to side draft rubbers. This channel helps me with spotting and fixing a problem. Appreciate it.
Excellent. Thank you.
Very cool. Let's see. Okay, so we're over the time limit.
It seems like it's pretty active. We'll go until you can't go anymore. You can't go anymore. You just rolled your eyes.
Tony, if you could have any old car just like it came off the showroom floor, what would it be? David Uglum.
Old car, just as it came. Not a restoration, but like an original old car.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, Cal, what would you think?
An original old car?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Original.
It depends on what you want to do with it. Do you want to race it, or do you just want a car to
No,
drive?
just an original old car.
Mm.
Okay, the car that comes to my mind would be a 72 Roadrunner GTX.
Okay.
That's if I could have an original car exactly as it came off the showroom floor, it'd be a 72 Roadrunner GTX.
Okay. It's nice. Old Blue 426 sent you $50 with this little guy on a rocket.
Well, thank you. That is on a rocket.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now,
That's for
I
your disguise news. Probably.
I just confused a bunch of people when I
Yeah.
said Roadrunner GTX. I don't mean Roadrunner or GTX. Beginning in 1972, so the GTX was a separate model from 67 to 71. But in 1972, they incorporated the GTX into a Roadrunner. So in 1972, if you bought a 440 4-barrel powered Roadrunner, it came as a Roadrunner GTX. And those cars are crazy. They have all of the Roadrunner badging and they have all of the GTX badging.
Yeah,
So
kind of
everywhere
funny.
you look on the car, it's like Roadrunner GTX. It's crazy. It's a 1 year only. Well, no, 73, 74, they did that also, but not to the same extent. But the 72 Roadrunner GTX is probably the most obnoxious over-the-top car as far as like muscle car styling and gimmicks and shit like that. It's neat. They're really cool.
Tony, just start coughing. People tend to move way fast these days. Oh, be nice. Be nice.
Let me tell you about my condition.
Tony is very nice. He exaggerates a lot. It's his Italian nature. It's okay.
I'm very nice to people. I love people. I do greatly appreciate the recognition. I really do. It's nice to be recognized. I don't want anybody to think that I'm ungrateful, because I'm not. It's the exact opposite. I'm very grateful for it. It's just that it takes you out of your head. It's like, imagine this for a second, right? Imagine this for a second. You're you, right? And you're doing your thing, okay? And you go to a place. And then suddenly when you get to that place, you can't be you anymore. You have to be somebody else. You have to get out of your own head, and you have to be aware of...
We should never be somebody else.
Well,
You're never somebody else.
No, listen. Okay, let me refine that.
Play it safe. Admire him from a distance.
Let me refine that.
Oh, it's awful.
Let me refine that. Okay. You're you. Okay, but then when you go to this place, you have to be aware of being you. Do you see what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? You go through life.
It makes sense for me, and I'm not even
Yes.
remotely
Okay.
important. I'm
All right.
walking next to you, and
Okay,
I
so
feel
for anybody who's
self-conscious. Like,
Yes.
don't pick your nose.
Yes. So for anybody who's hung along here this far, that's the best way I can explain it to you. Okay.
Don't do anything, because people might be looking at you.
Right. You're yourself. You wake up in the morning. You take a shower. You brush your teeth. You do whatever
Yeah.
you do. Yeah, and you're you, and you're just going through your motions, and you're doing your thing, and you're going to go to this event or this show, or the swap meet, and in your mind you're saying to myself, okay, I got to find an intake manifold for this. I have to find trim for that, and this is what you're thinking about, okay? And you're completely unaware of your own self.
Yeah.
You're only aware of the things that are going on around you. But when you cross that bridge and you become like a YouTuber, right? Then you suddenly can't be you can't be unaware of your own self anymore. Now you have to become aware of yourself, and that takes you. It dilutes from the experience. Does that make any sense?
It only kind of goes away if you're focused and busy doing something. Like, you know what I mean? Then you know, like, okay, you stop thinking that somebody might be like staring at you.
It happens all the time
Right?
too.
Right?
Right. They're watching you. You know they're watching you. You know, it's because you're walking past. Oh God, that happened to me. That happens every time. You're walking past. So I'm looking at. I stop and I'm looking at, like, a guy's got like a carburetor.
But I think
station.
sometimes they're trying to figure out, is that him? You know, because yeah, it's like, is that UTG? Because I don't think that they automatically recognize you. It's funny.
It's weird. It's weird, guys.
Franco says, I used to feel sorry for Ivo. He never knew what was coming at him.
Nicest guy I have ever met in my life. Tommy Ivo.
You should be nice like him.
he's nice, but it's a different kind of nice, right? But no, Tommy Ivo is literally like a golden gem of a human being, as far as I'm concerned. Guy, just amazing. But Ivo's a really good guy. What was I going to say?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Mr. Project Car says, for me, it's different. I go to events and kind of play a YouTube guy. Then I go home and I'm me.
It's not for everybody. This is not for everybody.
Yeah. Don't complain.
I'm not complaining. I am not
They're not
complaining.
saying that. I'm saying that. Nobody said that in the comments. You
But
shouldn't
do
complain.
you guys understand what I'm saying? Am I kind of like explaining myself clearly? I don't know.
You're crazy.
I'm not crazy.
You were crazy. You're a little, who's the guy with the shoe boxes, the tissue boxes on
Howard
his feet?
Hughes.
Howard Hughes.
Eccentric?
You're a little eccentric.
I might be a little eccentric.
You're a little Howard Hughes like. All right, I think I can't talk anymore.
Are you done? Are you tapping out?
I am. It's been a long day.
All right.
I'm tapping out, guys.
We're gonna call it a night then. What do we want to talk about? Closing this out. Was there anything we want to?
I am depleting. Yes.
Yeah, she's depleted.
Depleting. Oh, I don't know. We want to talk about the events that you're going to, but you're not going to tell anybody about.
Right. I'll just be there.
Just be there.
We'll just be there.
With
and
a
then-
fake
and then-
nose and some glasses.
No. We'll be there.
No picking bugs.
We'll be there.
Funny. What?
No, there was something, I don't know what it was.
That you wanted to talk about?
Yeah.
Was it important?
It was to me at the moment that I wanted to mention it, but for the life of me, I can't
Good
remember
night,
what
Joe
it is.
Brennan.
So everybody, thank you again.
Oh, is Ari having his live?
Of course he is.
Yeah, probably.
So if you guys want to continue this, jump on Ari's live. Can I go on that?
Are you
Do
okay?
we even have? We don't have a camera here.
What are you talking about?
Well, I was thinking about jumping on Ari's live for a little
Oh,
while.
we have a camera. Of course we do.
Okay. Ari, I may or may not come by your live.
Oh, yeah?
But anyway, Ari DeBernia, if you guys want to continue hanging out for a while, he goes for a couple hours after we finish up. So go over to his channel and please go subscribe to him and give him a share and a like and everything else that you can do. Ring bells.
Ari says, come on over, folks. That would be awesome, Tony.
Yes. And what else is there?
Good night, Mark.
Yes. So everybody contributed to
Good
the
night,
super chat.
Dodge Boy.
Thank you so much. We greatly appreciate it. Every bit helps keeps the wheels turning, especially in January. Or if you're a YouTuber,
January.
January is the hardest month. We had the best
Good
month
night,
we ever
Andy.
had in December.
Yeah,
It was
January
great.
is
Oh my
rough.
God! Look how much. Oh, this is great, right? And then January happens, and it's like, how are we going to pay for anything?
Yeah.
Right? It's like January is So
It gets better, though.
yeah, but it starts to get better. It's starting to get better now.
Yeah, it'll get
But
better.
the first 2 weeks of January, man, holy jeez, you
It's bad.
you cannot imagine.
And
right?
what's crazy is that we were getting like really high views too, and it was like, oh my gosh, like there's nothing here.
Yeah, there.
Like you should really stop making videos in January and save it up for the next month.
she's right. She's right.
Take January off.
Just take January off, but we can't do that. We
I know.
got to stay on it. So yeah, but anyway,
When you see Tony at an event, don't say hi, just throw rocks at him.
you know what? That's cool.
Don't hit me.
That's cool. Throw a rock. Try not to go for a headshot. Try not to go for a headshot. But if you throw a rock, I know you're throwing it with love. That's fine. Okay.
When are you racing Andy?
I don't know. Andy's ready. He's still working on the truck. He's still sorting it out.
Oh yeah?
And I don't know what tracks are open right now. I'm not
Florida.
sure.
We could go to Florida.
Florida to race Andy.
Oh, it's nice in Florida.
Well,
I could go to the beach.
We're gonna meet someplace in the middle of the country, someplace in the middle ground. But he's got Casper together and running, and he's sorting out the carburetors on it.
Unity says Shady Side is open.
That's like a 8-hour tow for me, bro.
Where is that?
North Carolina's up by here.
Oh, okay. Florida.
That's a 10-hour, 12-hour tow.
But it's warm.
Um,
No?
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. What was I gonna say? Andy, the further east the further west you come, bro, I'll even catch it for your friggin' tow money.
Because you're lazy?
Because I gotta be here and make videos every freaking day.
But we'd be making videos at the track.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're funny.
What was I gonna say?
Summer Nationals.
And some are not.
Don't throw rocks, throw engine parts at Tony.
Whatever it is, throw it. That's fine.
Union Grove, Wisconsin. It's a little chilly there right now.
Yeah, that's a 14-hour tow from here.
Too funny.
But we are going. Andy and I are supposed to go to No Prep Race in Darlington in February.
Oh yeah? Am
Yeah.
I staying home or am I
Yeah,
going
you're
to-
staying home. It's
I'm
gonna be
staying home.
It's gonna be guys weekend out.
Okay, that's fine.
We're going to No Prep Racing. We're gonna go check out the No Prep scene.
All right. So you get a vacation?
You get a vacation. You get.
Sweet.
It gets quiet for you for a couple of days.
No way.
Yes, way. Yes, way. Andy, what's the date on that?
Mike says Union Grove is for the hardcore, I guess.
Union Grove was like my home track for a while. Back in the '90s, I was bouncing on a bunch of different fuel cars, and I worked for Mike Fazer, Chicago Fire, Brett Welker's Time Machine. Oh God, we ran Lagana's car out there a few times. I worked with a bunch of cars in that area, so I was forever like Union Grove was like my home track, even though I lived in New York City for a couple of years, always there. I love that place. Cordova too. Cordova
Harry's
was very
going on.
close.
You better wrap it up.
Okay. But yeah, shout out to Union Grove. The whole state of Wisconsin. Wisconsin rocks.
Dodge Boy 5150 sent you $10.
Thank you, Dodge Boy. So, at any rate,
Andy says February 11th.
February 11th. Okay.
That's when I get a quiet day.
That's when you get. You get a quiet day.
Nice.
Andy and I
Okay.
are going to go and have boys' weekend out.
All right.
And we're going to go
You
check
need
out the
that.
snow
That's
truck
good.
thing. And then we're going to realize how much of a sickness it is. And we're going to come up with some kind of plan to take one of our freaking contraptions and go no prep racing. I
Okay.
can see it now.
That's
but
good.
that's okay. That's
fine.
fine.
It keeps you young.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's it, guys. Thank you all for joining us. Super chat, again, greatly appreciated. Those of you who just contributed with your presence and your conversation, thank you
Your awesome
also.
questions.
Our friends who've lost people was zero, especially our condolences. And that's it. We'll see you next Sunday night.
And you're going to go to Ari now?
Yeah, I'll jump onto Aries for a few minutes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. You have
Okay.
to set it up though.
I'll set it up for
Okay.
you. All right.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Thank you
everybody.
so much.
Thank you.